Welcome back to another episode of Test Sesh for beginners by beginners. So, today's session, we're going to talk about star sand. But before I get down into talking about star sand, I want to show y'all I finally got all of my supplies. So, we're going to sanitize all of them and get them ready for the process. And hopefully, if we have enough time, we'll get into either a straight sugar wash or making some inverted sugar. So let's get started. So here we have the hydrometer. As I'm told, a very important tool. I haven't even opened it up yet because I want to do this with y'all. I've watched some videos on it, but again, like I said, this is for beginners by beginners, so we're going to learn all of this together. I'm not going to do the unboxing. I just want y'all to be with me while I'm taking this entire journey. Let me set that over there. And of course, the kit comes with a test jar and a cleaning tube. I hope I don't break this. Test jar and a cleaning tube. That is pretty large. And I'm going to be doing small amounts of brewing. I hope that doesn't take up too much. But in any case, whoop, let's pull that out. So we got our test jar. We got our hydrometer. Now this is what we're going to use to measure our gravity points, starting and ending. And they say you can't measure alcohol or proof and trail because it's a lot thinner than water. But I think this white part right here, if it sinks into there, you talk about you have some concentration of alcohol. So let's just put that on hold because we will come back to it. Yes. So we have that, our hydrometer, our test tube, our cleaner. Of course, in my last video, I showed you our pH meter, our thermometer. I also have a second one just to double check. Came across a video that said, these aren't that accurate on reflective surfaces, so who knows? It never hurts to have something on the side to double check. Plus our little handy stirrer, and we have our 2-gallon jars and yeast and formulas. All of that stuff will be later on in the other videos. But for now, let's get into talking about the star sand. So I seen almost every brewing video that I watch, that star sand was most of their go-tos. I even seen one video where the guy had it mixed in a spray bottle and was spraying it in his mouth like, oh, it's food grade, it's safe. But really, I am one that, when people do recommend things, I still like to go read the box, look at some things about it, and, decide for myself. I do like the popular opinions of, majority people, but I still like to look for myself. And what I came across was, I don't want to say anyone is doing anything wrong or spreading wrong information or any of that. I'm just going to say that I went on the website of Five Stars website. I'm assuming that's the company that makes this. And their website said that this is a hazardous to humans and domestic animals. So I'm not sure if people should be spraying it in their mouth or not. Hey, it's, your preference. I know it says, diluted to the right concentration. It's safe for food surfaces. But nevertheless, and I also read something that said, it breaks down into sugars when you clean your brew stuff with it. So, I mean, you can use your own opinion on that in your own discretion. But I would recommend you look it up and decide for yourself. Another thing, I do have several spray bottles that I bought because I thought I'd be able to fill this stuff up and keep it around, use it for the brew series and around the house. But while I was reading, it says that this stuff only is, once mixed, it's only good for an hour. There are a lot of other videos that say otherwise, but again, I'm just reading off of the back of the label and off of what's off of their website. So there is a Google search that said, hey, from 5-star that, as long as the pH is under 3, then it should still be good to go. So that's something else y'all can look into. But for me, the way that I am going to do it is just like the instructions said. Now, it does say you can mix it in a spray bottle and spray whatever you have to do. See? I almost broke something just now, but luckily it didn't break, so I'm going to try to be more careful. Let's see, where was I? Okay, so, but it does say that in order for it to work efficiently, it needs 1 to 2 minutes of contact time with the surface that it is sanitizing. So what I have decided to do is I'm going to mix it just like it says. In the front, it has half gallon or half ounce and 1 ounce. Now this stuff is 1 ounce per 5 gallons. That's how strong this stuff is. I couldn't find a smaller bottle until I actually went to the website and not Amazon, but 1 ounce per 5 gallon. And if you look on the back, it has the milliliters. On the front, it has ounces. And on the back, it has milliliters. 30 milliliters, 1 ounce for 5 gallons. 15 milliliters for roughly 2.5 gallons, I assume, or 3 gallons. And then 5 milliliters for 1 gallon. So what I'm gonna simply do is just mix a gallon of this stuff. And this stuff concentrated, they say, is extremely, hazardous. It's an acid, so, I imagine it's not, too conducive in its pure form like it is now. So maybe I should have read if we needed gloves or any of that. But in any case, I am going to go by the samples. And I have this, if I can get that stuff to go back down, into here. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Oh, well. I'll figure that out in a minute. But let me show you my big old pot. So here I have my huge pot. And I'm just going to fill it. Let me turn on my water so it can get warmed up. And I'm just going to fill it with some nice hot water. And, well, I'm only going to fill it with about, I'm probably going to fill it with like 2 gallons of water. Maybe 3 gallons. Yeah, I'll probably do 3 gallons of water. And then I'm going to submerge all of my equipment in it for 2 minutes. And I read another video that said if you leave it sitting too long, it'll feel like it's slimy or something. So I'm not going to do it too long. I'm just going to do it between 1 and 2 minutes. I might just do 1.5 minutes because the website says 1 to 2 minutes. How long it's going to stay sanitized, I don't know. Hey, but I'm hoping that, you know, everything turns out just fine. And it says no need to rinse, so I can actually put it in a spray bottle, you know, mist it down as long as I cover the whole surface and leave it for 2 minutes, you know, before it dries off, and then go to work. So, you know, there's that. But I just wanted everyone to know that since this is what I'll be using, you know, the things that I read in the videos. So you can make your own decision on if you want to use it or find something else. So first we're going to check the temperature of the water. Let me change my thermometer back to Fahrenheit. Let's see, 73 in here. Ooh, it's warm. All right, let's check my thermometer. Ooh, that is hot. That's coming straight from my tap. That's coming straight from my tap. 118 degrees Fahrenheit. Ooh, that's going to be great temperature because we need nice hot water to dissolve our sugar. And since I want to take a shortcut instead of boiling, I'm still going to do some boiling, but since I like take shortcuts, I'm just going to use my home hot water to dissolve the sugar at 120 degrees and without having to heat it in a pan. But that's later on in the series. So let me find somewhere to set this so you can watch me fill the pot with water. So I have, let me see if this gets the same temperature. So this one is getting 106, but still plenty hot. So let's see. And feel free, if y'all don't want to sit through this, feel free to fast forward it. Again, for the beginners that, you know, want to see it step by step and make sure I'm not doing any steps different, I will leave it recorded. But those that just want to skip through, feel free to fast forward. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe if this video is helpful to you in any way. And if you're not, hey, feel free to drop a comment and let me know. Let's see. Almost a gallon. Almost a So that's one. Oh, you know what? Darn it. I forgot to do something, so let's do this. I forgot to rinse my pan out, so let's there we go. And this is actually my wife's crab pot that I'm going to be using to do some of this stuff in. But we hadn't done crabs in a while, so I think it will be all right. But ooh, just doing that. Ooh. Oh man, that's hot. Let's see. It's only saying 77 degrees. Inside it's saying 82. Now let's get our gallon jug and fill that up right there and wait for it to fill up. While we wait for it to fill up, I'll tell y'all more about some of the series that we got coming. We're doing the home brewing series, and then we have, of course, our smoking series, which before every video I have my sessions, but we'll actually have our smoking sessions during our smoking series and our DIY series. And you get to hear some crazy stories from when I was 8. But my dad was a huge do-it-yourself person. So, you know, maybe you'll learn something, a few tricks or things I haven't done in a while. But let's have some fun. All right, just the first gallon. All right, that's 1 gallon. Woo, this pot gonna be huge. But I didn't realize that I can use this pot if I want to do some large batches after we figure out how this process goes. So bear with me. And again, like I said, some of y'all feel free to fast forward through the video if you just want to skip to the meat of it. I will make sure I leave some data points. Now, when I leave data points and tell you a certain amount, like the Star saying, that's the recommended amount. So feel free to use that. But when we get into the mixing and amounts like that, I'm going to give average amounts that the general consensus says, and that's what we'll use. So if someone says, let's use 2.5 pounds of sugar per gallon, then we'll do somewhere around that. That's 2. We'll do somewhere around 2.5. 2.5. I did realize that there's no real specific number, so all the numbers I give are just averages of all the different numbers that they gave in the videos that I watched. Yeah, so my water is only about right here. Ooh, yeah, we got a huge pot. I can do probably a whole 5-gallon mash or sugar wash in this one pot. Yeah. Actually, dang it. Alright. let me stop for 1 minute, and I'm going to pause this because I've read on the Star San that it's only corrosive to aluminum. So I don't know. This pot definitely is not steel. It doesn't feel like it. I don't know if it's aluminum or not. But I am going to stop. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to check to see if this is aluminum. If not, I will get my wife's steel cooking pot, and we will do it in that. So I will be right back. Welcome back. Hopefully you've had time to finish your session while we were in our intermission. So what I did find out was that yes, my local pot is made of aluminum. And I did a Google search that said, is it safe to use local pots with Star San sanitizer? And it spit me an answer back that said, yes, as long as the pot is made of stainless steel. Well, mine is aluminum, so obviously that's not going to work. So we will use my wife's stainless steel pot. Heavy duty, you can tell it's her good pot, but it will be all right. And she just used it yesterday, so it's clean. We just washed it last night because we used it already. So let me see if I can make some room, and then I'm going to dump our 2 gallons. Dump. We're going to dump our 2 gallons in there. And put this thing back on the shelf where it's been sitting for the last 5 years since we bought it. I'll do all that later. All right, so now we have 2 gallons and 3 gallons. So let me get my solution or my Star San sanitizer. Stuff is kid proof. Sometimes I think it's adult proof. Now remember, 5 milliliters per gallon. So is it going back down? Point in having this little measuring thing if it's not gonna go back where it's supposed to. close enough. So I'm just not gonna pour it all in there. I'm gonna try and get it right. So, and I'm gonna pour that. Just a little more. Okay, that was probably a little too much, but hey, we're gonna see. Well, I always err on the side of caution, so what I am going to do is add that. Don't fear the foam, they say. And I'm just going to submerge. I'm going to use my little stirrer. Stir that up. And then I'm going to leave all of it in there soaking for... Now be careful because these are glass and you don't want to break it. Oh, but it's floating. Because it is a hydrometer. So it is floating in there. Ooh, yeah. Can't see what it says because the bubbles are on it, but it'll be all right. It's going to merge this somehow. I'll take care of that. 1 second. And then when we finish, I am going to fill my spray bottle with it. Just to see, if it lasts or if it don't. My question is, if that's some kind of food grade acid, could you not make a sanitizer with pretty much any acid? That's for you chemistry guys. Who knows? So it is. I'll just let that sit for 2 minutes. Leave that recording. And once I take these out, that's what I needed to do. There we go. Always have a good measuring cup. Go. Voila. All right. And one of our big jugs. Oh, and our airlocks. We're just going to go ahead and submerge those in as well because we want everything cleaned and sanitized. And it's nice hot water. And you see they're all in wrappers because it's all brand new. We're starting from scratch together. I have a second one of these buckets that I will do later on. But for now, I just want us to be able to get into it. So I will just pour. Oh, dang. Oh, I'm making a mess. Damn it. Okay. I knew that was going to happen. All right, Let me pause and clean this mess. Okay, we're back. I spilled some and I was worried because it had all these cleaning instructions about if you spill it, how to clean it up, and all these safety precautions. But I'm assuming that was just if you spill the. Okay, it's been 2 minutes, so let me turn my water on. And like I said, I'm assuming that was just for them to say if you spill the concentrated form. If you spill the concentrated form, then there's a lot of safety hazards to clean up. But since we are using diluted, it's not a big deal. Oh, you know what? I don't even have to rinse this stuff. I can just let it dry. I let it drip dry because it is fucking safe to non-rinse. So, which I think I might have just defeated the purpose of rinsing it off. Damn it. It's a no rinse, so I guess I didn't have to rinse it at all. So let's just do this. Dip you back in there. And like I said, the water will stay on there for the next couple minutes while it still stays sanitized. And you. There we go. Let's see what else we got in here. Got some of our little pieces. One of my pieces fell in the jug, so bear with me. But the reason I poured some of that in the jug because we are just simply going to shake that all around and then see how it's foaming up. That's the suds working. That's the suds action. Woo, look at that. Hey. Yeah, I'm going to just let a little pour through there just to, get it on everything. And like I said, this stuff is safe once you dilute it. That's why some of the instructions kind of confusing. But nevertheless, I'll just stick by what the instructions say. And then for now, I'm going to that's a lot of foam. This time I'm pouring it over the sink so I don't make a mess. Boom. And hopefully that will just help me rinse some of this foam out. That does not seem to be doing the trick. Maybe I shouldn't have shook it. I should have just gave it 1 or 2 swishes. This stuff foams up like detergent. Let me get me another towel. so. Also, I am going to save some of this for later. And it says the stuff's only good for an hour. That's why I'm just doing one bottle. I'm going to save one bottle of this. You know, that way I can just squirt it, some things down here and there. Everything's already been sanitized. And I will also say, I believe 5 milliliters is 1 gallon. So I believe 1.5 milliliters. If you just want to do it by the 32-ounce bottle, you can just mix 1.5 milliliters of this stuff and fill it to the neck of the bottle, the first indentation right here of the bottle. If you don't want to mix up, you know, no big old gallon size mixture. So I'm going to, is this on? Is this I'm going to spray a good amount. That way I can just, you know, get it flowing through the head of my thing here. Everything's out. Now, one thing I would say is, you know, you're really supposed to wash everything before you did it. But since I was submerging it in water, I'm assuming any factory dust or anything that was still on there would have rinsed off in the pot. I just hate to waste this big old pot. So I'm not going to throw it out yet. I'm going to keep it for the rest of the day. And then we will get started. So thanks for joining. That was our episode on Star Sanitizer for using our equipment. Now that we have all our equipment and everything sanitized, our next video we're going to jump right into just making a sugar wash and get started in the fun.